Honestly, it's been a long day.
Welcome back to Search for Smiles, everyone. I'm the host, Dustin, and you may be wondering why I'm in glasses. They're blue light glasses because I suffered another concussion. So I'm editing and all this technology stuff, going to classes with these on because my head hurts. You might still be able to see the bump on my head, a little bit, but it happened last night and I'm down for the count. So if I seem a little more laid back or chill, that's why. But we still have an episode. And that takes me to today's guest. Today's guest is someone who's connected to me in more ways than I have wanted. And I learned even more ways that I'm connected to her in this episode, which is crazy. This person is Megan Revell. She isn't just a coach here or former acrobatics and tumbling alum. She's also one of my sister's best friends. I mean, I've known her since my days back in Washington, and she even came to one of my youth football games and everything, so I've known her for a long time. And as I said, I've known her for a long time, dating all the way back to when I lived in Washington State, not the city, the state. So this episode is about just her and her journey of becoming an acrobatics and tumbler, and how her and my sister's friend group really gets connected, as well as then transitioning to becoming a coach. Because it's kind of cool when someone is a athlete and then becomes a coach at that same university. So she kind of talks about the people that shaped her in her journey and thanks her parents for letting her be able to take the opportunity to move across the country, because she was in Washington and my college is in Pennsylvania. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode of Search for Smiles. Once again, I'm sorry if I'm not more upbeat and excited. I was just sleeping not too long ago because my head was hurting, but I still want to get this done. I'm sure my doctor would say this is stupid and a bad idea, but I'm committed. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the athletic and beautiful and surprisingly funny Megan Revell. Today, I'm joined with someone that I've known for a while, as you heard in the intro, surprisingly enough. I'm joined with Megan Revell. Okay. Megan Revell is also a Gannon acrobatic and tumbler. She's actually an alumni because she's old like my sister.
I'm old now. I'm chopped and hunk.
You can go ahead and talk about yourself now.
Yeah. I am Megan Revell. I just graduated with my undergrad here at Gannon, and I was a 4-year member on the Acrobatics and Tumbling team, 2-time national finalist, and now I am the graduate student coach, just furthering my passion and pursuing me forward into the acrobatics and tumbling collegiate coaching sphere. But yeah, I'm still involved with the team, but I'm no longer flipping my body over.
5 minutes ago, she said we're so back, so I'm holding her to it. If you saw the Ali Ross episode, I had skepticalism, if that's the word.
Skepticism?
Yep. Speech impediment when I was little. But you get my point. So, Ali, wow. Megan, how did you get, because you're from?
I'm from Washington State.
Yes. How did you get from Washington State, Richland?
I'm from Richland, yeah.
All right. In Washington, it was like Tri-Cities.
Tri-Cities, I'm part of the Richland side of it.
I was like...
You lived down the street from me at one point.
But like Kennewick,
and then you guys moved. So y'all were literally down the street. You guys actually lived in the same neighborhood as Luke. Did you know that?
Did we really?
Yes. Laura dropped. Y'all were in Hills West.
Yeah.
He was one street up. So like from his porch, I remember looking out like when we first started dating. I was like, oh my God, that's Courtney Dawson. I was like, oh, my worlds are colliding right now.
That's crazy.
Then y'all moved to closer to Kennewick, by the Riata end of it. But
that's wild. Okay.
Yeah. Well, how did I get to Gannon in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, but if you don't, so Luke
I just learned I was apparently his neighbor. Luke is Megan Revell's boyfriend, also known as Paul Skeens. He's like a slimmer Paul Skeens, I'd say. Ever since like he grew the mustache, I noticed
his
it.
firefighting mustache.
Is he a firefighter? No, he's not.
He's in school right now.
So he's going to do the EMT stuff.
He's doing his EMT school, and then he's training right now. He passed his written for the firefighting test, and now he has his CPAT coming up super soon.
Love Luke.
Yeah.
All right, so back to before I learned information I never knew about. How did you get from Kennewick, Washington?
Richland, Washington.
Go Braves.
I'm not a proud Bomber alum, but
True. How did you get from Richland, Washington to Erie, Pennsylvania?
Strictly for acro. When people ask me, why'd you come to Gannon? Why'd you come this far? It was literally for this acrobatics and tumbling team. I had nothing else in my brain at the time, being 18, going I'll figure school out later. I'll figure whatever, because I was going to be on an acrobatics and tumbling team. I was going to be a college athlete, and court came out and surprised a bunch of our friends back home, and we drove down to Eugene and did the Oregon Acro Camp. And I was already kind of looking at some acro schools, because I broke my foot and had 2 major surgeries my freshman year, so college gymnastics was just simply flat out of the equation. And I didn't know how I felt about acro until I saw Courtney and I were in it at U of O doing it. And I got to watch her entire process, firsthand unfold. So I was like, this is the dream, gonna go to U of O, this is it. Rejected, flat out. I got past the first round, and this is during COVID with the lockdowns and everything. Yeah. So everything was virtual, which at that point in the recruiting process, for me at least, it already, everything already was. Rejected. Thought my life was over. Because especially for acro on the West Coast, that's really all you got. You got the University of Oregon, and then you've got a zoo specific down in California. There you go. And especially at that time, the other option was Hawaii, but Hawaii's in an ocean, it's not on the West Coast. So I opened my horizons. Courtney had, probably at that point, she was at Gannon already. And I remember when she picked Gannon, I was like, dude, you had your official offer from Oregon. They had the shoes, they had everything. I was like, dude, I thought she messed up, in my opinion. I thought she messed up.
We all did.
And, then when I was being recruited, they were 7th. Then they bumped up to 6th and 5th. It's you know what? Last shot, I'll start the recruiting process with Coach Jackie at Gannon. And then I got really into it, and Courtney was just because I wasn't allowed to fly I wasn't even allowed to fly out of the state. So I'd never had an official visit. Everything was on Zoom, and Court would FaceTime me with Coach Jack, with Coach Jalea at the time, and teammates, and I would just see everything. I did everything virtually. And I kind of, Coach Jack offered me, and I just kind of decided, yes. And I was so gung-ho, and I was like, this is happening. There was no other option at that point for me, because, it was Gannon or bust. Yeah. If 100%, if I hadn't been offered, I'd be at school at Oregon State or Washington State. And thanks to Courtney, I got my butt out here. I had never even stepped foot in the state of Pennsylvania until the day I moved into North Hall with my mom.
That's crazy. I never knew all this.
Yep.
I learned so much.
And I am here. And I really love Western Pennsylvania, but I'm here and I'm go Knights all the way.
Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
As in the 412. As in the city of bridges.
Yeah. That's actually my, people think I'm crazy, but I've been to Europe twice, and Pittsburgh's my favorite place in the history of ever.
I know, people are like, you've been to Seattle, you've been to Boston. I just love Pittsburgh.
I love Pittsburgh. It's so, and especially after Luke went to Pitt, you get different aspects of Pittsburgh and all of not the cities, all of the neighborhoods, all of the culture that goes down there, and it's just what's not to love about Pittsburgh.
So if you're from Washington, come to Pennsylvania. I mean, you don't need to, but it worked out for you, I guess you could say.
Would
you do any, if you could do it over again, would you
at that point in time, or the thing is it's like acro thankfully has just blossomed, and we're up to like 60 schools now, and at the Division I level across, we're creeping a little closer.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had to start the opportunity all over from like 2025 on. I don't know if that's where my path would have taken me, but 10 out of 10 picks would have picked Gannon again and again if I were 18 again.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like with my story of recruiting, obviously I came to Gannon. But if I didn't mess up at the University of Rhode Island camp so bad, I would have gone to URI to play football. But they didn't want me, so you came to Gannon. You already knew my sister, which I'm sure is an experience in itself. I'm sure we have different perspectives.
Yeah. Probably.
Sadly. But you also met other people here.
I did.
And Lauren and Roop and those girls and whoever else. Those are the ones I know off the top of my head. She knows everyone else a lot better, obviously. How would you say, how does being in that core friend group here at Gannon shape you? Obviously, you were just a girl from Washington. And you probably, who else did you know here besides the coach and Courtney?
At that time, I didn't even know Coach Jack. I really moved 3,000 miles here to not mess around just because I only knew one person.
So, makes my point even more important. How did your friend group now shape your experience here as well as just life overall?
They had more of an impact on my life than my acro career personally. I mean, it can go both ways, but I wasn't really talking to anybody else besides Courtney until season rolled around my freshman year. And thank God we got room dogged together, Lauren and I. It was very last minute. We were on the road to Quinnipiac my freshman year, and I was very last minute thrown in to dress down as an alternate in case something were to happen. Coach Jack had enough faith in me that hey girl, you're gonna do your 2 at full, or you're gonna do 1.5. We'll figure it out, but you're gonna be our alternate. And then at that time we had these things called COVID reliefs. So 2 people, in case someone got COVID, it was usually a top and a base that both could tumble, because you never really know what's gonna happen, what you're gonna need. So you need some extras. And Lauren was a COVID relief. I can't remember who the other person was at right now, but we were room dogged together, and we sat on the bus together. And I don't even think, Lauren and I had talked at practice, we're friends at practice, but it really takes sitting genuinely this close together and going on that 7-hour bus ride from the depths of something different, because we were delayed. We were supposed to have a practice day the day before, when we bust in, but the roads were so bad. I remember we had a rest stop in New York, and I stepped out. I was like, oh my God, I've never been to the state of New York. And everyone else is stressed out because it was snowing up to our chests, and we didn't know how this itty bitty little bus was going to take us to Hamden, Connecticut. And we missed our practice day, the day before the first meet, and we had a lot to prove. We wanted to beat Quinnipiac, whatever. We're in the hotel room, and Lauren is going to kill me. But again, didn't really know this girl, snuggles me. We're sleeping, night before meet, and then I wake up and this girl is snuggling me, my little snuggle bug, and we just, there it is. We're at the meet, and she made sure, again, I don't want to phrase it like this, but I didn't matter at that moment. There were bigger people to worry about, but anytime we had a partner stretch or making sure I was still warm, she was there. And that's some big character to show off, being a COVID relief. She's not dressed down in a jersey. This girl that she hardly knows, is stressed out. Yeah. And we had some goals to fulfill that meet, and she was, and the rest is truly history. Freshman year is really where it kicked off. And then I was again friendly with Reagan, and then Reagan was a COVID relief for nationals. That's its own story in itself. And it just blossomed from there. And then we got Court in that mix. It was like creating an Olympic, the basketball team from 2024 when they just kept calling their friends up.
Oh yeah.
That's how I relate putting this friend group together. Is like we just kept putting the Lego pieces together, and now here we are. I think I went off topic. Sorry.
Cuddle your friends.
Cuddle your friends.
That's wild. Okay, so let me get back my train of thought because.
Sorry, I went off topic.
No, you're completely fine. More you learn. Okay. So you had, like I said, you came from Washington and then you slowly kind of developed new friendships just from not like normal experiences, I guess you could say. I mean, definitely not normal.
Yeah.
But I would say in my case, as I already mentioned a little bit before, because obviously Megan's a guest, but I always kind of go into my things, was I was supposed to be, with my experience of my friend group, I have 2 friend groups, one in Connecticut, one here, and then Washington. I contact them sometimes, but I was young. I think you came to one of my youth football games one time.
I think yes,
Yeah.
you had one, and Courtney took a couple of us, because like, what else but what else are you going to do in Tri-Cities?
I like Tri-Cities. Oh, yeah, I forgot we have beef with this. Yeah, never mind.
I learned, though, recently, Luke and I found out there's more people in Tri-Cities than Erie. And that blows our mind because there's so much more.
That's not surprising to me.
Okay, well, to us, there's so much more to do here. And you're telling me there's less people?
What is there to do here that's, like, crazy? Like, oh, man, we gotta go do this.
I don't know if it's just the fact that, like, you can drive where you, like, obviously it's 2 hours essentially each direction, but you got 3 major cities.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys have, I mean, there's just, I can't fully explain it right now, but we can get up and leave our apartment and go do something. Whereas in Tri-Cities, we've got the Atomic River that you can't swim in or you're going to turn green.
Forgot about that.
You go to the mall with 2 stores.
I love the Tri-Cities.
I love where I'm from, don't get me wrong, but you can't,
Yeah,
you can't do anything.
As I was saying because like I said, my friend group here at Gannon I was originally going to room with this kid named Brent, as you guys saw. And then, because I wanted to be in North Hall. I did not want to be in Finnegan. There's some crazy stories in North Hall, not even from me, but as you hear, she was in North Hall, Courtney was in North Hall, Ryan Popovich was in North Hall. The cool people were in North Hall. So then they just threw me in with Ryan, George, and Grady, and then those guys just became my best friends, and then we became best friends with the people next to us. We all played football, so it was kind of easily come from that because I was born in Erie, but played high school in Connecticut, so I was still kind of on my own. I mean, I had Courtney, which is not the craziest person to have, but that's how my friend group, and we always kind of stayed connected, and as I've mentioned before on other episodes. But with you, when you're not, like, I don't know. No, you haven't had a situation like that. I said, so you mess up or something, which I'm sure has happened. Acro in general, or bad days or whatever. Yeah. How Lauren and whoever else you mentioned, how do they help you dig you out of that hole? Because with me, having a small, not maybe small, but having a valid, I guess, support system has helped me so much. So even Luke, how did those people help you get out of like funks that you may have been in?
That's like the perfect softball to this answer is they're all so different that it was just perfect because Courtney and I are so similar, especially in our intensity. Yeah. So I could be like, watch this tumbling pass. Like, I'm so mad of X, Y, and Z. Like, that's just an easy example. And she'll tell me every single thing that's wrong with it, even if I be like, yeah, this 1.5 was like good. I landed on my feet are together, whatever. And she'll tell me that like I ran wrong. And it's like, okay, cool, noted. And then there's Lauren and Reagan, who I could go to for a more sensitive side of like, I don't know why. I struggled a lot in my first couple years with like not getting rounds of play, and they would always put it either into a perspective or they'd be like, yeah, it sucks that you didn't get put in those rounds of play. And it's just like, that's also another side that's really, really helpful to hear. And then there's Luke, who he obviously knows a lot more now. I would say he rivals you. You were saying last episode, like you're the number one Gannon.
All right, no. All right, I'm gonna bleep this out, but that. What do you mean?
He would travel. This man went to the meets in Oregon. He went to the meet. He was going everywhere.
How old is Luke?
Well, he's going to be 23 in a week.
He's only 22.
We're the same age.
That's wild.
Anyways.
I'm still hurt by that. I'm not.
He rivals you. I'm not saying he's a bigger fan. I'm saying you guys are...
No. All right, continue.
Continuing. And then with Luke, like, he has knowledge and gained knowledge over the sport over the past 4.5 years that we've been dating, but, like, sometimes it's so nice to have an opinion or be able to vent to somebody that genuinely has no idea, like, what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that.
And, like, if he wanted to talk about volleyball, like, what was really frustrating him with volleyball, he'd come to me so I could be like, oh my gosh, and totally stop. Because sometimes you just need someone to take your side. And I had, with all of those people, I had the whole circle of being able to talk it out. And I'm the kind of person, like, that's how I figure my life out, is I really need to talk it out and beat the dead horse over and over and over again. So that's how they help me.
No, that's pretty cool, because I'd say all my friends are pretty similar. I'd say, I mean, we all do kind of different things now, but, like, we all kind of have the same mentality. And then I always thought when I'm talking to someone about football, like when I played, and I was like, man, I missed this zone coverage, and they'd be like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but just do better. Like, you got it next time. I was like, man, you're an idiot. But then I'm thinking,
you have to think on it.
I'm thinking, I'm like, man, you're right. Like, maybe I should just, no, you have good points there. I give you credit. And I was going to say, do you think the people around you after these maybe mishaps or whatever make you more confident overall? Maybe not just in acro, but I see how you are, and you're always kind of, is spunky the word, like outgoing?
I guess that's what people, like, that's what's so interesting to me, is it's like I never see myself as that, but if my closest friends and, like, my coaches and, like, people even in the stands are talking, like, to my parents and saying I am that way, sure. But that's the label I've been given, is I'm spunky.
So how would your friends would say just make you comfortable? Like, because when I mentioned this before, in high school, I was an idiot. Like, my dad would always tell me, like, he would tell me, like, oh, you're stupid, you need to mature up. And I feel like I did a complete 180 since going to college. I'm pretty quiet. I talk to people, but I'm not crazy. I don't be going out every other day. I'm kind of my own space. I know my peace. So, but when I'm with my friends, I can be normal. I can be the little idiot my dad would say when I was little. And it's enjoyable to be comfortable around those people. So how would you say, because I'm sure you act different around me than Lauren that cuddles you at night, but how is that beneficial to you, just to know that you have those people that you can just be pretty much your full self around?
My parents actually put it best, is it's like, and it didn't really hit me until either nationals my junior year, because my parents, like, thankfully flew all the way to West Virginia to watch, and they got to finally interact with, like, other parents and all that, or senior night, and it was just like Scott and Kim.
I love Kim and Scott. Scott's funny. I like Scott.
It's like seeing them be able to react, of, like, they had trusted right in letting their daughter move 3,000 miles away from home, and people did take care of me. That's something that, like, after seeing that, it almost put more trust.
That's probably pretty cool to see for them, I'd say.
100%. I can't even imagine. Like, I'm not a parent, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just that knowledge of knowing they are genuinely my second family. Like, I would, if the power went out in my dorm, or if the power goes out, like, before Luke moved in to the place we're at now, like, I would drive back here and crash on their couch because, like, I'm scared of the dark. Like, they would open their home. I was there down the street on 6. I was at that house more than I was at my own house. Like, and we just, like, Courtney is genuinely my sister, like, through and through.
Same here. Like,
well, actually, she's your sister.
Yep.
But, like, my parents even act like Courtney's one of their own, and that mentality alone, like, strengthens bonds. But it just makes you grow up, and college is such an important time for you to, like, not only find yourself, but, like, really be uncomfortable with finding yourself too. Like, you go through phases, you go through, like, how would I like to handle this, or how do I want to be as a human being, period. And especially when you're a college athlete, like, that's two sides of a coin. Like, you don't have to be the same when you're a student and athlete, those can be two very different
Yeah.
things that coincide.
Mm-hmm.
And having that core group of people and having that safe space in the house alone was just like, it made me who I am, and I'm very thankful.
Yeah, no, it's when you brought up like how your parents brought Courtney into one of your own. I could think of a family that does that because his mom wishes me happy birthday on Facebook every year, and it makes my day. So,
Right? And your mom does the exact same thing. She was at meets. She was cheering for me. Like Court's a year older than me, so she
Yeah.
graduated. Your mom and your aunt even were at meets and like
yeah.
cheering me on, and it's just like how incredibly special. And it just makes you more grateful for like what you're doing. Because again, like last season, my senior season was not an outcome that we had expected or like a journey that we probably wished for or wanted for, especially to end like my whole athletic career. But you gotta think about the fact that like no matter what, we had people showing up and were so proud of us, like no matter what.
yeah, no.
And it, you know, I'm a NARP now, and like stuff like that still, it's like, how do I want to take characteristics of that into my new
Yeah, being a
normal
NARP's
life?
it's an interesting lifestyle.
It's an interesting lifestyle that you have to figure out every single day when you wake up.
Yeah.
is my current struggle.
Yeah, I remember my beginning of my NARP journey, and I was lost, I'd say. So, last thing to touch on with like the friend group, because I've been around you guys for a little while, and I know how you guys are and everything, but I'm going to need just one story, whether it may be Lauren or you or Courtney, hopefully, need some tea on that,
Okay.
or Ron, whatever it is. I just need a story that is like, maybe just like funny, I guess you could say. Like, that just is like, what the heck, or I was about to say kind, but we already kind of got into what they do for you. But I need something that's like the Lauren Cuddle and you was like, oh, that's pretty funny, but like, you know what I'm saying?
That like encapsulates our friendship, or just like a one-off?
I'd say both. I mean,
Oh, jeez, we've had. Oh boy.
A few moments later,
Shoot.
2 hours later.
There's genuinely so many, but oh my god.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new.
just pick one. It don't have to be odd. It doesn't have to have every detail in it.
I don't know, I'm on the spot.
No,
I'm trying to cycle through like 3 years of anything that we did.
No, you're good.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
I think an easy one that encapsulates like the whole friendship is junior year, when everyone is turning 21 and
Your
graduation.
junior year?
My junior year, sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
I think I'm. Wait, hold on. Continue.
That year alone was so big, and now that we're all old and like reminiscing on the good times, we're like, that was our prime or whatever. So this prime year, like everything, even if it was minuscule, was celebrated. And I remember when I was towards the end. Reagan's the youngest, like in that core group, but like we're still on the tail end of turning 21, and they just like, everything was a big deal. They wrote on the windows, they were like, Venmo us for Megan's 21st like birthday fund. We did like signs and everything, and it was during meet season and all that, so we were making sure like we're not going out before like a practice or like during a weekend of like if we had a meet that next week or that very week. And like everybody was just having a good time. Like when Court, Hannah, Pop was graduating, like we were with them and we had the barbecue, and it's just like everything was celebrated. And that's not necessarily like a whole story, but it's just, I think it's a testament.
I was about to say, yeah, no, that makes sense.
I can't even think of, there's so many.
No, you're good. Yeah, I remember hearing about you on your 21st.
There's other people that went, people decided Megan Revell's 21st birthday party was the time to just, all the college stories that we're going to tell our kids apparently happened that night. And like,
Apparently.
I wish I could have that. I don't, because I remember basically everything, and it's like, I didn't have that wild of a time. I had a great time.
Yeah.
But everybody else, I guess, took it as an opportunity. Yeah.
See, you're the core foundation.
Yeah. We did that with Luke's 22nd, is when he turned 21, he was like the first one of the group, so I drove down to Pittsburgh. I couldn't even drink.
That's how it is. Like, my friend group, I'm the first one. It's like, oh, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh, guys, like, are we going to
And nobody could do anything.
Yep.
So when he turned 22 this year, he drove up and we got him the birthday sash, got him some glitter, and we went out on the town and we were trying to make him feel like one of us girls on their 21st. And I think it worked because I remember that was so much fun. The man doesn't dance and he was had a little shimmy. It was so fun.
All right, so being a former athlete, now being a NARP and not having anything to do and being lonely and upset.
Yeah.
Now you're coaching, which is something I had an opportunity to do at the high school level, but I didn't take it this year. But I would say, how different is it from being a player?
Player.
Yeah, player to being a coach. Because I'm sure there's times where you want to go out there and be like, obviously you want to do a tumble pass or something like that. So what is, I'd say, the biggest difference from coaching compared to competing?
Actually, exactly on that is we'll be teaching. Tosses have been really bad for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have so much FOMO, and I just want to get in there so bad. Like, when
Yeah.
I give a correction now, like, I'm like, let me get in there. And it's like, okay, I need to take a step back.
Mm-hmm.
Usually coaches only get in there to help explain, like, if the correction's not being met, like, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But I think that's the hardest thing right now is, like, purely the FOMO. And it's like, I wrestled a lot. Like, ask my family and ask Luke. Like, I wrestled a lot with the fact I have an extra year of eligibility.
Oh,
And,
yeah. I didn't know that. I bet that, yeah.
And I just, for the longest time, I was like, okay, I'm fifth yearing. And I hit senior year and I was like, not only can my body just simply not take it anymore. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way, for what the team needs, I physically would not be able to provide that. And I know that. And it's also like, this is the best opportunity in the world, in my opinion, for my coaching career. It's like, there's so many coaches out there in the NCAA, NCAA from Gannon.
Yeah.
And they are kicking ass. Sorry, but they're kicking ass. Like, and the opportunity to be able to have that and have a year of a graduate student position under my belt is like, you can't trade for that.
Yeah.
And we didn't make it to nationals as a team last season, but we got to go for toss in something that, like, I was really passionate about. And comparatively, like, it's okay to be selfish for, like, little moments, and I just have to be selfish over my senior year. That's the most plays I'd ever had throughout my career. Everything, like, my whole career, everything I put on the floor, I hit. And now it's time to, like, move on and coach and really learn, because already it's been like a couple weeks of practices, and it's like, I have learned so much under Coach Addy, and now we have Coach K. Completely different perspective. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna have FOMO, and yeah, I want to throw a back tuck and make sure I still got it, but it's part of, like, that growing up aspect, taking the student athlete mindset completely away from it. It's like, you got to mature and grow up and find out who you are without acrobatics and tumbling.
Yeah.
And that's that.
No, I feel the knowing if you still got it. I remember Gannon intramurals just not too long ago. I was playing like, you need an extra guy. I'm like, okay, I could still ball. I could tell you that. I could still play football. I'm still a baller. But then there's this one kid. He was like 5'4", and he's just like shifty. And like, obviously in football you learn to break down and then you rise your hips and run through them. But it's flag. So I do that. So it's harder to do because you have to, like, lean and grab a flag. I missed his flags and I just gave up. I'm like, okay, it's not worth it. And then the kid behind me goes, and you still can't get him, and that pissed me off. I was ready. It was flag football, and I'm like, that just shows you how competitive I still am, because I was wanting to put on pads on and run Oklahoma drill with the kid. Kid probably weighed 145 and was 5'5", but not the point. Anywho, coaching. That's what we're talking about. But when you said about getting in there and doing it, that's how I coached. They wanted me to help Wyndham, my high school. Youth league, I helped out. And, like, seeing the little kids, obviously they're younger, and, like, teaching them ladder drills was, like, enjoyable, but it's like, okay, let me show you how to do it.
Yep.
So it's kind of hard to resist yourself when you had such a strong passion for it. I mean, obviously you still have a strong passion for it, but it's kind of an interesting perspective on the whole thing. I mean, obviously I physically can't do it anymore with my elbow and everything, and I'm sure I didn't even know you broke your foot.
Freshman year of high school, yeah. I had 2 major surgeries, and I still have, like, arthritis. But I also, like, I've got problems with my hips. That's mainly the big thing. Like, I woke up this morning, I had to, like, stretch before I could even get out of bed.
Yeah, I remember I ran track in high school. I had, like, some, like, calf thing. I have, like, shin splints or whatever. She was, like, rubbing my calf and feeling it. She was like, you have the worst calves I ever felt in my life. I'm like, thanks. I have a bunch of knots in my back, and...
Yeah.
It takes a toll on you. So that's one benefit of being an ARP.
Yeah.
Per se. But I would say my next question to you is, in coaching, there is a lot of different coaches, in my opinion. There's coaches that are going to be like hard on you 100%. There's coaches that are going to take you to the side and be like, you should have done this better. And there's some that will sit down and break everything down for you. And just personality wise, like want to be like the guy that hypes everyone up, in the locker room. Like Gannon, Acrobatics, and Tumbling, and you know what I'm talking about.
I do. They've shifted away. People like to just like chill and. It was a stark. What's that called? Power shift. Is there was only like 6 of us in that whole locker room that were like getting lit.
No, and that makes sense though, because in like locker rooms, like in football, like when I'm on the field, I was different. I was like talking and everything, but in the locker room I just sat in a corner and said nothing.
So I was like the opposite. Is like locker room was my time to like, this is lit. I love having fun with my friends. Nobody speak to me. I have a job to do. Like, come on, I link you on for senior night, and I'm sitting there torturing myself, going, "Oh my god, this is like perfect." About like closing the curtain on my.
Yeah, I was so hyped for that. Oh my goodness.
And I have to sit there and I'm like. Because I'm so superstitious, just how I am is I'm so superstitious. I go, if I don't keep staring at this black line right now, everybody's going to
wear
fall.
the same socks every meet? That type of superstitious?
Everything is the same. Everything is the same. And so when we would get to nationals and there's 3 days, that's when I started to get, because I have to change my socks, have to change my underwear, have to change the sports bra, can't wear the same hair,
Yeah, no.
But again,
yeah,
I've
me
never
in the
fallen.
locker room, because like coaches would talk and stuff, and I'd just be like sitting there, like people would be rapping and stuff. I'm just sitting there. But on the field when they played music, all we did was run routes and catch passes. So I'm just like getting loose and like hyping myself up. But because we'd go out, warm up, then go back. We'd start in the locker room, obviously, go out, warm up a little bit, and come back in the locker room. And that phase between going back to the locker room the second time and then just warming up was when I usually kind of feel.
It's like a routine.
Yeah. But my example of what I was saying was before we got off track about pre-game rituals that we do or pre-meet. What kind of coach do you want to be? Do you want to be someone that's like hyping them up? Because when I talked to Allie, when my sister was like, my sister helped Allie, she was saying like, she kind of put me over the edge, not in a bad way, but she kind of put her out of her comfort zone, telling her like, oh, this, and this. Like, what kind of coach do you want to be? Like these players or contestants or whatever, or gymnasts or cheerleaders, or you know what I mean? What do they want? What do you want them to see you as?
I hope they see me as someone that like they can respect overall. Like I model a lot of my thought processes off like Coach Jack, period. She was so intense and wanted like everything out of you, but she knew how to talk to her athletes one-on-one or even like in a group setting, like in a toss group, like those little small, like, because those do have chemistry and that you need.
Oh no, 100%. It's the same for positions in football. Like I was closer with our linebackers, especially in college too. I was so much closer to the linebackers than the other people. I mean, I still love all the guys, but like we're going to meetings. I don't know if you guys do meetings and stuff.
We do individual meetings, but like
the
toss group, the pyramid group isn't gonna like, or a trio or quad pass isn't gonna go in for
because like
a coach's meeting.
For college, it was like, I mean, you had a huge team meeting, and then you go to offense, defense, special teams, and then you go to linebacker. So I'm with these guys all the time, and so like you were saying, it's kind of different to have. So I guess having a coach, like you were saying, being able to be that versatile,
knowing that everyone's on the same page.
That's pretty
I
cool.
want to be able to get my athletes on the same page, but I also know
you're athletes, huh?
Yeah. I've got goals here. And it's just like that would be my dream and my hope for my athletes to see me as somebody who is intense, but like we're striving for success. We are a team. We're a unit. No. I love Courtney and I send videos back and forth. Like I love coaches like Coach I think Oriema from
Gino.
UConn.
I love Gino.
We do a bunch of Saban.
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban. We
He's
do
a
a lot
good
of stuff like that. There's other coaches that are slipping my mind right now, but it's like, yeah, they're these big, they're scary what they have their athletes like do in that mindset, but it works. And then they all later after they graduate are like, that's like my dad. That's the biggest teddy bear, like, you know, and that's kind of the concept I'm hoping for.
No, I never even thought about coaching in the acro world and how it is like just kind of one team. Because in football, I'm always used to like, okay, special teams coach, head coach, linebackers coach.
You've got your bases, your tumblers, you've got your non-tumblers, you've got your position players, your tops. You're like, and everything is so different. And it just feels like even in my 4 years, the dynamic has shifted, not like a 180, but there's been a big shift of like how we need to communicate to these kids to get them on the same page and do their job.
Do you think, so obviously there's still people on a team that you competed with. Do you think those people still look at you as like a teammate or a coach?
Oh, I would say our senior class is probably the one, because they were freshmen when I was sophomores, and so many of those girls I was in groups with just last season. Probably. And we do have like I understand like completely. They'll go, Megan, Coach Megan. Totally get it. We had Kat last season, and I literally like, Kat and I did everything together. We lived in the same house. She was like, we just did everything together. So I think I maybe called her Coach Kat like 3 or 4 times. Yeah. So that, I have no problem when my teammates mess up with that, because that is a different aspect. And I still, my role also right now is just trying to make them feel comfortable and like they can talk to me, come up to me. Like I'm not their teammate, but I'm not, like, I am not the big honcho coach. Yeah. Like, let's still communicate. If you have a question about your tumbling, like if your feet are together, like, girl, I will answer it.
Point your toes and all that.
Like, I got you. Or if it's like, Coach Megan, I forgot my spandex or something. I'm like, girl, okay, let's go figure it out. Like, that's where my role on the pecking order is at, and I want them to feel comfortable with that. So if they mess up, they mess up. But I would say the current seniors now, I wouldn't blame them if they're having a really hard time trying to transition.
I'd pay so much money when my dad was coaching me, and I told him I forgot my football gloves, and he told me, it's okay, girl, we'll figure it out. That's not the response I got. No. I'm
not saying that's 100. Sometimes they walk up to me, and I'm like, our seniors, I'm like, guys.
No, not yet.
Oh, but yeah, it's probably really different for them, but
yeah, because I thought about coaching when I was like I said, I coached a little bit. I got Wyndham and stuff, and I'm like, I was helping people out, and I'm like, I literally was like in the same position right next to you on the field, and it's kind of weird how I'm, trying to coach you. But so I always thought it was an interesting perspective on it.
They know though that like, this is my dream, is to go coach, and they know that I'm there like fully for Gannon, and that they're technically helping me in the next aspect of my life. I was really worried about that, but the way that they've been has been over the moon incredible, and they're just making me a better coach in the end.
So you mentioned all these coaches like Gino Auriemma, UConn women's basketball coach, just letting it known in case people don't know. Nick Saban was former Alabama head coach, and like these other guys. If you could like you said, I know some of them will slip in your mind, but if you had to be like your biggest aspiration, it doesn't have to be an acro coach. It doesn't have to be basketball coach. It can be football, whatever. What coach would you want to be, just like overall? So I guess it's kind of saying who's your favorite coach, but like, because like Mike Tomlin's a cool coach, but I wouldn't want to be him.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily his largest fan in the world.
Yeah, because when you brought up Nick Saban, that surprised me.
I like how intense he is. Like, when any clip that has been shown, and when he talks now on College Game Day, obviously he's a lot more chill. But like, he's still got the.
I loved
this team is dumb because they're not running.
No, I loved his press conferences and stuff. Like when he talked about, do you know who Henry Ruggs is?
That sounds familiar.
Henry Ruggs was a player that played at Alabama, and he got drafted to the Las Vegas Raiders, and he drove 120 miles per hour and ruined his career and got sentenced to jail and killed someone. And I remember he came out and talked about it after it happened, and it was probably one of the greatest speeches I ever heard. And he wasn't even like intense. He was like saying what would happen if it's like players take a car keys or something, just holding people responsible and making it a lesson out of a terrible situation. So, I'm
trying to think. I would say Gino's probably up there because I watched the Diana Taurasi documentary and I was like, yeah, that about checks. I really like how chill John Cook was for the Nebraska women's volleyball team.
Oh.
I don't know. I feel like there's just an amalgamation. And obviously I don't know these coaches like one-on-one,
Oh,
but
yeah.
like I really enjoy I kind of like how Pitt is like scrappy, Pitt volleyball.
Yeah, Pat
And they're-
Narduzzi. I remember meeting him.
Pitt volleyball.
Oh, yeah, no, they're like top 30 every year almost. What are they now?
They've slipped a little because of you can cut that. They've slipped a little bit. They're like 5th or 6th, but they graduated a lot of people.
Okay.
So it's a young team. But I think they're 5th right now.
Yeah.
So, but they for the past like 4 or 5 years have always made like either Final Four or Final
Yeah, I
Three.
feel like University Pitt's just like overall scrappy. Because when I talk to like Pat Narduzzi at like the camp and stuff, and I see him on TV, he like gets after it.
The Pitt women's volleyball coach is scrappy, and I really like that mindset of like, especially an underdog team. Like Gannon Acro is consistently, I'm gonna toot our own horn here, underdog team. Like, and we come in with a chip on our shoulder. I don't know. It speaks to me in a coaching sense and an athlete sense. So being able to like represent your athletes that way too. It's not just them. Like the coach also fully believes in it. You know.
Yeah. So, like I said, came from Richland, Washington, to Gannon University. Don't know why still, but you seem happy with it.
Yes.
And that is now coaching at Gannon Acrobatics and Tumbling for our school. If you could just leave a message for anyone that maybe wants to go into acro or playing college sports or even want to coach or honestly moving across the country for college, what would you tell them? Like, what's your memo? What's something that you stick to?
I've prepared something similar to this, and it's long-winded, so I apologize.
Yeah,
but
good.
it's like, especially for female athletes, like you have to go for it.
Everyone watches women's sports.
Everyone watches women's sports, and I can only speak from a gymnastics background and an acrobatics and tumbling sense. But the best thing I ever did was get out of my hometown, and I understand that that's not feasible for everybody. But not only did it improve and widen like my maturity in my life, but I would not have had this opportunity. And I had like athletically, scholastically, I got scholarship at Gannon. I would not have received anywhere on the West Coast. And there's so many opportunities everywhere.
Yeah.
Like in an acrobatics and tumbling sense, you can go D3, D2, D1, and it doesn't matter. We're still like, yes, we'll be an NCAA sport probably like after this next season. But I mean,
Compete.
D2 schools, D3 schools even are beating D1 programs. And it's like you're there to represent something bigger than yourself. Like we as Gannon athletes would represent like the university's mission. Like you have that name on your back, and that is a feeling that you really can't get anywhere else. And it can happen anywhere in the country. Even if you play like at the community college level.
Yeah.
Like you are furthering a passion you have that's making you better at any level. And I think it just truly adds to your life, honestly. So you have to go do it. You have to take a shot at it. Travel if you can. If you can. I know how unbelievably spoiled and blessed I was to be able to like go 3,000 miles away from home.
Yeah.
And just say like no monkey business, like I'm getting the job done. But
as I said before, nothing changes if nothing changes.
100%.
So, Megan, I appreciate it. I need you to do me one favor. Can you like go up to the camera and like show your rings?
Oh, I'll even take. I've got my
They
my
both
last
have
name-
they both have number 2s on them though, so like there's a grain of salt.
finalist. Whoa. Okay.
They're still
This is
cool
from-
though.
This has, I don't know if you'll see, it's my last name and my number on both of them, but this is from my junior year, and then the one of my ring fingers from my freshman year.
Yeah.
Yup. Two-time national finalist, two-time total ass
Hopefully
kicker.
we
Let's
get
go.
one with national champion as our coach.
Yeah, no, I will.
As I said in the Alley episode, I was saying this one, beat the Bears.
And Quinnipiac.
Quinnipiac's not real.
It's fun. It's fun to have a little rivalry. I'm glad we don't play in conference, and the fact that our rival is a Division I university.
All right.
Let's go.
I
I'll beat
appreciate
anyone we can take.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Once again, thank you for tuning in to Search for Smiles, and thank you for Megan Revell for giving me the time to sit down and talk to her. And I apologize if I don't seem all upbeat like I usually am. Once again, my head is hurting. So just making it through the days. And a big announcement too is the official song Long Day by Praise that you hear on the outros and intros and on the social medias and stuff like that. Praise has dropped his latest album called Lost, and I listened to it, and it is not album but an EP, and I listened to it and it was very good. So I really hope you guys go listen to his music and his latest EP called Lost. Thank you guys for watching Search for Smiles. My name is Dustin, and I will see you next time in a new month of October with new guest, a self episode here and there maybe, and I really hope you guys continue to tune in. Thank you.
So good at my job. And it's been a long